why this particular Purnima has been known as the Guru Purnima. What is so special about it? When this culture of yogis and spiritual sadhakas set forth on this journey, which is a constant cycle, which has been maintained for thousands of years, of moving from the Himalayan region down south and back again up as the seasons come. During the summer, they are in the Himalayan region. In the winter, they come down south. Even today, and for many, many thousands of years in the past, this tradition has been maintained that the yogis move from the Himalayan caves down to south, many of them right up to Rameshwaram, which is the southern tip, and again back, walking thousands of kilometers. This tradition, people say, started right after Shiva transmitted the fundamentals of yogic science to his 7 disciples, who are now celebrated as the Saptarishis or the 7 sages. And one of them set forth down south. That is the Agastya Muni. In many ways, everything that we do here today, what we call as Isha Yoga, is just a small extension of his work. As I have probably repeated any number of times, Agastya lived a life which could be considered almost superhuman. And from that day or from that time, this tradition of travelling south and back again became a yearly cycle. In doing this, numbers have dwindled now, but still it is kept up. There was a time when they moved in hundreds and thousands. So at that time, when they travelled in huge numbers down south and back again, this month was a challenge because of the monsoons. We don't have much of it now, but it has always been a very furious process. The word itself sounds like that monsoon has a certain speed and fury attached to it. So when nature got so furious traveling by foot became difficult. So generally it was decided for this month, everybody takes shelter wherever they can. Much later, Gautama, the Buddha, also prescribed rest for his monks for this 1 month, just to give them a break from the weather conditions. It would be very hard for people to travel at that time, because they stayed in one place and they had no travel to do. So it was set up that this month should go in constant remembrance of the Guru. So the Purnima or the full moon that happens in this particular month is referred to as the Guru Purnima. This tradition is thousands of years old, and this longing to go south and again come back to Himalayas is very, very ancient. Many thousand years ago, people say approximately close to 40,000 years ago, there was a yogi whose name was Sunira. We believe Sunira was just the next generation after the Sapta Rishis. He lived and worked in the mountains which are presently in Nepal. And he took on an impossible project. He was an incredible guru, but he was not happy with himself. He wanted to create that kind of a being who is absolutely perfect and always. So he took up a project of creating a being doing or synthetic stuff is not of 20th or 21st centuries making, way back. He wanted to create a synthetic being, a perfect being, who will become a perfect teacher, who will become the ultimate redeemer of humanity. An impossible project. But this is a man of incredible capability, so he took on such a project. And he started putting together a being of every kind of quality that you can think of. This longing must have come because this is just after Shiva, the Adi Yogi, left. They must have been missing him. They must have been missing him so badly that the longing to create a perfect being must have been a natural longing and maybe a natural project to take up. He worked through his lifetime to create this, and towards the end of his life, when this dream of creating a perfect being remained unfulfilled, Yogi Sunira made a prophecy that long time from now, long time from now, this work that I have started will find fulfillment and reverberate not here, but in the green hills of the south. Our hills are green. We are in the south. So this dream, so many people worked on, generation after generation. Many yogis tried to continue to work on the same half-made project of Sunira, which in the last century, it's always been in the yogic lore, but in the last century, it came to the surface. It came to social knowledge because the Theosophists worked on it. Annie Besant, Leadbeater, and Madam whatever her name, I can never pronounce, Blavatsky. All three of them took this project up. They said, we are going to make it. They amassed a vast amount of occult knowledge, probably for the first time in the last few hundred years, and definitely for the first time, not in a traditional way but in a modern way. They took up this project and they tried to locate this being. This unfinished project, they want to take it up and complete it. Some work was done, they had the knowledge, but they did not have the capability. They acquired much information, but they could not acquire the necessary means to do anything like that. Twice they made serious effort to declare that they have completed the project, the perfect being has come, but it did not work. Another parallel line was also being drawn for the last couple of millenniums, where another set of yogis who were aware of this Sunira's glorious but quite impossible project, and with their wisdom they started working upon a similar force to create a similar possibility, but with a completely different understanding of the same. The fruition of that parallel line of creating a perfect being, but not as a human being, is the making of the Dhyanalinga, that here sits a perfect being, not in human form, because putting it into a human being as such a possibility, human system has all the capabilities, but still it doesn't have the necessary integrity of boundary to hold it. I think many times I have said, Dhyanalinga has all the necessary ingredients. It has the energy body of a perfect being. In theory, we can give him a physical body. In theory, it is possible we can add flesh and blood to him and make him stand up and walk. But if he does that, he will no more be a perfect being, because then he'll have to eat then he will have to excrete, then he will have to sleep, then he will have to wake up and rub his eyes in the morning. And people will find fault with him. You said you're perfect, but you're eating. You said you're perfect, you're sitting. You said you're perfect, you're standing. You said you're perfect, you're sleeping. So, it is best he remains that way. So whatever Sunira's prophecy has come true, but not the way he thought it would. So, sitting here almost 10 years after he's come into reality, after he has happened, on a Guru Purnima is significant. Because in every way, he is a perfect being and a perfect Guru. I'm saying he's a perfect Guru because he doesn't bother you like me. If you're willing, he's all there. If you're not willing, he's simply not there. That's perfect. I'm not like that. Whether you're willing or not willing, I'm after you. This is not perfect. Once it happened, Akbar had accumulated lots of people of certain capability, talent, and above all, of a certain degree of psychopathy. A king cannot sustain himself without being constantly fed with this. So one late afternoon, all the courtiers around him, whenever they got the opportunity, they wouldn't miss it because this was always economically rewarding, to praise the king. If you spill the right kind of praise, you would be rewarded. So, people were trying to find words, the right kind of words that will please the king. And they started saying all kinds of wonderful things. Someone said, "You are the emperor of emperors. There can never be another emperor like you on this planet. There isn't. And not only there isn't, there cannot be another one. But because you are the bravest man, you are the kindest man, you are the most knowledgeable, you're everything." So that man got Akbar's necklace. Another one started off and outdid him, so Akbar pulled out his diamond ring and gave it away. This went on. Akbar got little lighter and lighter. Then Birbal was just sitting there quietly, nodding his head like a sick chicken, because he is sick of the stuff that he has to bear with on a daily basis. At the same time, it is a part of your survival process to nod your head to all these things. Then Akbar noticed Birbal's silence and asked, Birbal, what have you got to say about me? Birbal said, why, my lord, you are even greater than God. Now everybody became silent. Birbal was simply looking at the king. King's face became red. He said, how dare you say such a thing? You are taking a snipe at the Almighty. How can you say this? For having said this, I will throw you, I would have killed you, but because you have been dear to me, I will spare your life, but I banish you, I will throw you beyond the borders of my country. Then Birbal said, why, my lord, even you are proving what I said. Just now what you said proves what I said. Akbar asked, how does it prove? So Birbal said, see, only you can throw me outside the borders of your kingdom, but God cannot do it. So Akbar cooled off. So when you aim for something perfect, it is best that it sits still. Because if it does anything, you can find a flaw. The moment you get into action, somebody can find a flaw in your actions. The moment you speak, somebody can find a flaw in what you said. If I am silent and still, you cannot find fault with me. This is the reason why everybody likes the dead, because they're so perfect. Isn't it? No? Because you can't find fault with the dead. So Sunira said thousands of years ago that this will happen in the green hills of the south. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to every day see the hills are green and we are in the south, and you don't miss it. This month is dedicated to this. From this Purnima to the next is dedicated to be focused on that being who can make a difference for you. You must remain focused. The monsoon is playing truant. What to do? Weather has changed. Climate change, you know. But we can anyway make use of some excuse. A devotee just needs an excuse. So this is a good excuse. Today's moon is not any different from another day's moon. But for one who is on the spiritual path, all he needs is an excuse to do something more with himself. This is a good excuse.
Sadhguru, you have talked of how a seed has to go through the pain of losing its safety.
I'm sorry, please. The seed has to go through the pain of…
losing its safety, its shield, how it has to become vulnerable in order to sprout. until the sprouting happens, do seekers have to live their lives in increased states of fragility and vulnerability? Isn't that particularly hard on them?
The seed, in making itself vulnerable, is not forsaking safety. Its only safety is in sprouting, growing and multiplying. That's only safety. If you do not know this, you already know this definitely, but in case you do not know it, the more insecure a particular population on the planet feels, the more they will reproduce. You know this? The poorer societies on the planet always have a higher rate of reproduction than the more affluent classes on the planet, because there is a certain insecurity about their existence. So, the safety lies not in remaining a seed, the safety lies in sprouting, growing and multiplying. So you are not forsaking your safety by becoming vulnerable or by becoming available to change. Once a man came and told his friend, long time ago, I was an invalid. His friend asked, what's your problem? What do you mean you were an invalid? No, till I was 1 year of age, I was an invalid, I was crawling. Your childhood, or even before that, is like being a seed. If you did not sprout and grow, would you be safer? You would be an invalid. I know these days it's become fashionable for people to claim, I am like a child. Even the so-called spiritual people are going about claiming, I am a child. If you say, I am a child, don't think it is some celebrated status. When you say, I am a child, you are saying, I did not grow up. Let us say, your body has grown, so we cannot take that as an example. Let us say your mind remained stagnant from the age of 3, how you were, it remained at the same place, only your body became the way it has become. So what are we supposed to call you, spiritual? So there is no safety in stagnation. A seed is meaningful only for a certain span of time, but seed is a stagnation. Seed is life, potential life, very important, but it is a state of stagnation. If you try to keep anything in a state of stagnation, for sure you will lose it. The only safety is to make it grow. The only safety is to make it sprout and prosper. Whether it's your body or your mind or your life, the only safety is in making it happen, not in trying to preserve it. Try this with your body and see. Many of you have tried, haven't you? Because you want to live for a long time, from tomorrow eat all the best food and save it, don't use it. If you want, we can provide you a coffin, because anyway you will need it very soon. Try to save it. There is no safety in trying to save it, that's not the way life is made. The only way to save it is to use it. So the only way a seed can be safe is for it to sprout and become a plant and a tree. That is the only way there is safety for the seed. In stagnation, there is no safety. But your mind would speak otherwise. Your mind would always say, a seed is safe because generally it's in a hard case and it looks more solid, more preservable. A plant is out there, vulnerable. Anybody can stamp on it, any animal can grab it and eat it up. But that's not how life happens. A young boy came home one day and told his father, "Daddy, I have some good news for you." The father asked, "What's the good news?" The boy said, "You know, I took the math test." He said, "Yes, what happened?" "You said, if I pass the math test, you are going to give me 2,000 rupees. The good news is, you saved 2,000 rupees. That's not safety.
Sadhguru, you have said, transmission is more important than teaching. Teaching is only a way of knocking on the door. Could you say more about this?
This happened in Pennsylvania. Are there people from Pennsylvania? Tina? So this happened in 1900s. Pennsylvania is known for its floods. It has innumerable water bodies, so it floods. So one more flood happened, a major flood. So a newspaper reporter ran there to report the news, to see it firsthand. So he started there and started sending out a message through the old way, not email, the old way of tapping out a message. And he was in a little poetic mood. So he said, "On this day, God sat upon the mountain and watched the valleys fill up with water, human life being sucked in, and the whole towns being submerged and all this stuff." He sent it to his editor. Immediately a message came back from his editor, "Forget the flood, interview God." See, teaching is like that. It's just a noise that you make so that you take the call. These things are not coming because of the great quality of music that's coming out of the cell phone. This is just for you to remind you that you must take the call. So teaching is just that, just to remind you, you must take the call. The noises are being made to remind you that you must take the call. Because truth cannot be taught. If you teach the truth, If somebody believes that they are teaching truth, that's one big lie. How can you do it? Because when we say truth, we are talking about that which is the basis of everything, that which contains everything. What is partial is a lie. Only that which is total, only that which is absolute can be true. Rest is a lie. Maybe different states of reality, but it's a lie. Though when you sleep and you dream, even in your experience, even though it may be so that your dream state was so powerful, at that moment everything was real. The moment you wake up, you say, I had a dream. You're admitting that was not the truth. Even though the experience was so powerful, still you call it a dream. So, we call something truth only if it is complete. In any way, if it is partial, we say, this is not it. So that which is absolute, how can it be taught? You can speak and teach only through language. Not necessarily through spoken language, maybe sign language, but still language. A language, the basis of language itself is duality between sound and silence. So right now, there are any number of people here who do not understand English language, but the best part is they are sitting as alert and as still as people who understand English, because they know better. They know what Sadhguru has to offer is not in his words. Those who clap are not those people. They understand the language. So when we say truth, we are not talking about an ideology, we are not talking about a philosophy, we are not talking about a scripture, we are talking about that which is the basis of our existence. We are talking about that which is the source of who we are right now. Even if you have a powerful emotion within you, you become speechless. Even that language seems insufficient. If you have a tender feeling towards somebody, suddenly language becomes insufficient. You would like to touch them and somehow convey to them. You believe that they will understand. They don't, but you believe. They don't have such hopes. People don't. So, how to transmit that which is the basis of your existence? How to teach the basis of your existence? It can be transmitted. Any number of times I've been saying this. I'm trying to change my terminology now for sexist reasons. I've been saying, I'm laying eggs all over the place. Someday they will hatch somewhere. lots of them, all over the place. When the situation becomes right, they will hatch. Recently somebody reminded me that this egg business is a very female thing. So I said, okay, from now on I'll say, I'm releasing a lot of spores. When the right kind of situation happens, they will sprout. Just a small sexist change. But it means the same thing. So, yesterday they asked me, we need some message for the Guru Purnima. So I just wrote one more bad poem because with great care I remained uneducated, so I can only write bad poems. It takes much more effort to remain uneducated in this world than to become educated, do you know this? Because to live in this world, to function in this world, and still not to learn anything from anybody around you is not a small feat. To remain uncivilized, uncultured, uninfluenced by anything around you is a much bigger feat than getting educated, cultured and civilized. Generally, people who manage that could never be active and effective in the world that they live in. That is why most of the mystics withdrew, because if you can become cultured or civilized, you cannot be a mystic. Civilization means the circumstances in which you are living has deeply influenced you and molded you in a certain way. So, refusing to be influenced, refusing to be molded by situations around you, perceiving everything directly, not allowing your scriptures, your culture, your teachers, your parents, and everybody else who is very eager to civilize you all the time. Takes a lot of conscious effort. So because of that, I write bad poetry. Please bear with me. This is titled as Guru Purnima. In search of truth, I did the sublime and the weird. In search of truth, I did the sublime and the weird. The blessed Guru arrived and had my knowledge routed. The blessed Guru arrived and had my knowledge routed. With his staff, touched the spot sacred, left me with this madness infected. With his staff, touched the spot sacred, left me with this madness infected. This madness without cure, but it is liberation for sure. This madness without cure, but it is liberation for sure. When I saw even horrific disease can transmit with ease, when I saw even horrific disease can transmit with ease, I took the liberty of maddening humanity. I took the liberty of maddening humanity. If you can't teach madness to people, they have to be infected. Infection is always a transmission, isn't it? Yes. It's not easy to get it. When you're in school, you would have tried. When you're in school, today you don't want to go to school, you want to catch diphtheria for a day. It doesn't come, Have you tried? You want to at least catch a flu, the damn thing doesn't come. No, it's not easy. You have to be ripe and the right kind of things have to come your way, only then it happens. Even a disease, when you want it, you don't get it. Yes or no? Have you tried? Didn't you try? You don't get it so easy. Everybody gets it, you don't get it. So this is also just like that. Because you want it, you don't get it. You have to make yourself vulnerable, receptive. The spores are all over the place. If you're vulnerable, you'll get it, it'll catch you. So we have spread sufficient spores all over the place. Those who are vulnerable will anyway catch it. It doesn't matter whether they came to the program or not. Program is just about making you vulnerable. The teaching is just about making you vulnerable. That is why we can train teachers to do it, because their work is just to make somebody vulnerable. They themselves are not doing anything, but they are very important because they are like the cell phone ringing. They are like the door knocking, because if it doesn't ring, who'll take the call? Your phone is on silent, I'm calling you and calling you and calling you, all missed calls. It takes somebody to make some noise. It takes somebody to make some noise, otherwise it'll all be one big missed call. Life will remain a missed call. So teachers are very important. Without the noise of teaching, there will be no transmission. It would be wrong to say no transmission, there will be, but it'll become very minimal. Very minimal. Only with the teaching, the vulnerability has increased, and because of that, more spores are being made use of. I want you to understand this simple thing that's happened to you even physically. Then one little cell, one little sperm found itself to the right place. And see how much life has happened. If it had not gotten into the right womb, if it had fallen somewhere, this wouldn't have happened. All this, a very sophisticated mechanism has happened, isn't it? Out of that one little sperm. It is just that it has to enter the right place, then it happens, otherwise it won't happen. This is just like that, on a different sphere, on a different dimension, but still the same. Nobody can talk you into pregnancy, fortunately, isn't it? Such a thing has never happened.